Hi everyone, I'm Maya, and today we are going to be choosing my November TBR with my TBR jar. I'm very excited. I've never used my TBR jar, but I love watching other people do this, and I think it'll be really fun. So let's choose 6 prompts today. I typically read about 10 books in a month, give or take a little bit, just depending on the month. So 6 sounds doable, kind of point me in a good direction, but also leaves a little bit of wiggle room, hopefully. So without further ado, let's choose our first prompt. Okay, got this fun red one here. Reddish, rust, I don't know. I'll try to open it so that you can see it. A book that seems bingeable. Ooh, okay, so probably something kind of short, maybe, or something that seems like it would be pretty fast-paced. Let me have a look at our options. Okay, what book seems like I could binge it? Okay, so for a book that seems bingeable, I've pulled 2 good options. The first, this is a library book. I have The Academy from Ellen Hildebrand. The only other book I have read by Ellen Hildebrand is The Hotel Nantucket, which I enjoyed. It wasn't an all-time favorite, but it did read pretty quickly. It just felt like easy writing, and I don't mean that in a bad way. There are some times where I think writing could stand to be more difficult. This is not like that. I just felt like it was easily digestible, just a nice time. And so I'm assuming if the writing seems similar, this would also be pretty bingeable. I don't know much about this, but I think it's set at, I believe, a boarding school, maybe a private boarding school, and maybe there's a bit of a mysterious element, like some secrets being uncovered. It is 400-ish pages. This might also be YA. I'm not really certain, to be honest. So one good option, The Academy. Another good option is The Devil She Knows by Alexandria Bellefleur. This cover, I think, is so cute. I'm obsessed with the art style on it. I believe that it follows a woman who's trying to win back her ex-girlfriend, and she ends up asking a demon for help. And I think the demon is Miss Blondie girl there. And I think they end up falling in love. And it just looks really cute. I saw Ellen Catherine read this on YouTube, and she gave it 5 stars, I believe. And it sounded really fun. And this is definitely short, like 300-ish pages. Looks adorable. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, I think the first book we're gonna choose for a book that seems bingeable is The Devil She Knows by Alexandria Bellefleur. Let's choose our second prompt. Got one maybe kind of from the bottom-ish. Okay, do this guy. We have continue a series. Ah, fun. Okay, I only have, I have a couple books I'm in the middle of, or a couple series I'm in the middle of, but I don't have physical books for all of them, but I definitely do for a couple. So let me grab those. So 2 series I'm in the middle of right now that I do have. These are both actually the last book in trilogies, so that's kind of fun. The first is Morningstar by Pierce Brown. So Morningstar by Pierce Brown is the 3rd book in the original Red Rising trilogy. There are more books in this series as a whole, but I believe that the first 3 books tie together like a single timeline. And the premise of this first book follows Darrow, who is a red, which is like the lowest caste in the society, set on Mars, and he ends up infiltrating the highest caste of the society to try to kind of work to bring them down from within. It's super fast-paced. Very political, very intriguing. It's a lot of fun, honestly. I like the audios too. So I read Golden Sun, the second book, last month, or maybe this month. Yeah, I think this past month. Really enjoyed it. So I would really like to read Morningstar like very soon. And then the other option I have is The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness. So this is the third book in A Discovery of Witches, another trilogy. That again, I think there might be one or two like maybe standalones actually also set in the same world, but this will complete the storyline arc. This follows Diana, who is a witch and also a historian, as well as Matthew, who is a vampire and a scientist. It's a really interesting fantasy story that has romance, it has science fiction elements, it has historical elements. It's such a unique genre blend. I really liked the first one. I loved the second one, and I'm excited for the third one. These are perfect for this time of year also, like A Discovery of Witches, such a great fall read. Shadow of Night, a great like fall to winter read. I don't know the timeline of The Book of Life, but I just feel like the supernatural element and the fantastical element of this series makes it really good for this time of year. Yeah, I'm really excited to read both of these quite soon, to be honest. I think I might be a little more like in the mood to immediately pick up Morningstar. So I think for now, I'm gonna choose to put Morningstar on my TBR. Cool, okay, let's choose a third prompt. Okay, got another little pale pinkish looking one. Oh, is that even, all right, here we go. Ooh, okay, we got book under 300 pages. This might be hard. I actually don't know what books I have that are under 300 pages, so let me have a look. What do I have that's really short? So I pulled a whole bunch of books that look kind of short and I'm gonna flip through carefully to the end to see how many pages they are and then roll them in or out based on that. And then we'll see if we have any options, because I feel like most of my books are over 300 pages, even if it's just by a little. Okay, the first one I'm checking is The Hobbit. They have, okay, page numbers are at the bottom for this one. This might work. Okay, 276 pages in The Hobbit. This is a good option. Okay, putting this here for now to consider. I am also looking at, oh, okay, another good option, great. Okay, The Enchantment of Ravens appears to have 293. That's an option. Oh, maybe I just did a really good job actually pulling these. Okay, wow, yeah, Never Let Me Go has 288. Ooh, A Dowry of Blood is 292. And I'm not even gonna look at this one because it definitely is, but we don't need one that short. Okay, of these, I think I'm most excited right now about these three. Not that I'm not interested in the other one, but I don't know. These three are really exciting to me. So The Hobbit, a great classic fantasy tale. I think originally written for children, but I've read The Hobbit a couple of times. I love it. I want to reread it again. Yeah, so I'm excited to get to this one at some point. A Dowry of Blood, this one has really been calling to me. This, I believe, is a sapphic retelling sort of Dracula following multiple of his wives, and it just sounds super good. I've heard the writing's really beautiful. I've never read anything by S.T. Gibson, so this is a really compelling option. And then Margaret Rogerson, another author I'm looking to get into. I've heard this is a perfect fall read. An Enchantment of Ravens, I believe, follows a human painter who paints the Fae and then gets herself into trouble for it. She gets taken on a journey into the fairy realm, and I've heard it has great like scenic nature imagery in this that is perfect for the fall time. It's also YA, nice and short. Another good option. Ooh, this is difficult. Okay. Which of these do I want to do? I think I'm going to go with A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This just sounds so good. I feel like I'm in the mood for this read. Yeah, it just sounds fantastic. So we're going to add this guy. Okay, let's choose our fourth prompt. Let's go for like a green one. We haven't gotten a green one yet. Oh dear, oh dear, oh, okay. I wanted this green one, I dropped one. We'll put that one back in. Okay, I'm choosing this green one. Let's see what we get. Historical fiction. Ooh, okay. This is good because I don't read enough historical fiction, honestly. Even though I do really like it, I feel like I don't reach for it as often. So let's see what historical fiction I have on my TBR right now. So I feel like I have a lot of genre blending books that are like historical X, historical mystery, historical fantasy, historical something else. So I tried to focus, honestly, on some books that are actually just historical fiction because, as I said, those are the ones that for some reason I just don't reach for as often, not from a lack of enjoyment. And I want to get to some of those. So let's talk about them. A lot of these are all like really popular books. So I have heard fantastic things about all of them and have been meaning to get to them for so long. So the first is The Book Thief. I've heard this is a very emotional read. I believe this is set around World War II in Germany, and follows a young girl who begins stealing books to learn to read. Soon she is stealing books from Nazi book burnings, the mayor's wife's library, wherever there are books to be found. But these are dangerous times. Yeah, no kidding. This one sounds very interesting, and I've had it on my shelf for a really long time. I also like that it's a bit bookish. I like books about books. So this is a really compelling option. Another one I have set in World War II, I believe also in Germany, or at least partially in Germany, is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This follows two different main characters, one who's in Paris and one who's in Germany. I think both children growing up. Heard great things about this one too. And the third one, again, I've heard this is incredibly moving, is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. And I have two of his books actually on my TBR, and I want to start getting to these. This is set in Afghanistan. It's a coming of age story right around and before the country's revolution and invasion by Russian forces, political, and also just about like the influences of that level of violence. And I have really been wanting to get to his books as well. Okay, so which of these do I want to choose? I think I'm between The Kite Runner and The Book Thief, honestly. I think I'm gonna go with The Book Thief for this month. Okay, let's choose a fifth prompt from the jar. See what we got. Okay, do this guy. Whoop. A book by an author you've loved. Ooh, fun. Okay, I have a lot of books by authors I've loved, which is fun. So let's see what we've got. Okay, I actually have a lot of good options for this, but I'm between two. I have more than this, but these two I actually been thinking about picking up so soon. One is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I love V.E. Schwab. I really enjoyed The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and recently loved Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I'd highly recommend that. This book, I believe, is the first in either a duology or maybe an ongoing series. I'm not really sure. And it's dark academia. It follows two boys in college who are roommates and begin working together on discovering dark ways to induce superpowers in people. And I believe it goes from friends to them actually becoming enemies, I believe, over the course of this book. It sounds so good. This was recommended to me and given to me actually by a friend, and I really want to get to this. I just feel like I've been kind of in the dark academia mood. I also, though, have been really excited to get to Hemlock and Silver, which is by T. Kingfisher. This is her newest work. I believe it's a bit of a Snow White retelling. T. Kingfisher just does such fun, like whimsical fairy tale inspired books that always seem to have a little bit of humor, a little bit of like a gothic element as well. I really enjoyed Nettle and Bone, and I also really enjoyed A Sorceress Comes to Call by her. So this is also a really fun option. It's got these fun green sprayed edges. I think I'm going to do, no, I don't know. I'm gonna do Vicious by V.E. Schwab because I have been meaning to get to this for so long. I meant to get to it last fall. All fall long it was staring at me and I did not. And so I think while I'm in the mood for this like dark academia story, I am gonna read it. So we're gonna put on Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Okay, the time has come for our sixth and I think final prompt. This is so fun. I could do this all day long and just build like a 12-book TBR, but I'm not gonna do that and allow myself a little flexibility. So we are gonna dig in here and find a good last prompt to do. I'm gonna go with this guy. Oh, goodness. Ooh, on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, fine. Let me grab my iPad and I'm gonna have a look at what my Kindle Unlimited books are right now. And then I will tell you. Ooh, I have a lot of good options on Kindle Unlimited right now. Okay. A couple options that I have been interested in. Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. This is, I think, like a gothic fantasy. Actually, I don't know if it has fantasy. I think it's a gothic romance, sci-fi, dark academia vibe. I believe it follows a woman who her mother dies from a mysterious disease, and so she goes to this elusive school to study this disease under a professor and falls in love with her professor. And I think there's some horror elements, which I'm not really a big horror reader, but I've heard great things about this, and I think maybe the genre blend of it will really work for me because, as I said, I really enjoy books that blend multiple genres, and that can be a fun way to dabble in something I don't normally read. So that's one. Another one I have on is The Natural by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is a YA mystery, kind of like Criminal Minds, except everyone's teenagers. Sounds fun. I've heard good things. Another good option, I've got a couple romances on here if I want like a fun little light romance to break things up. I have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. That's a YA fantasy romance gothic. We're saying a lot of the same words over and over again, which I do think maybe tells you a bit about what mood I've been in for this month. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with Nocticadia. It's a little bit outside of my like usual comfort zone, but I think that's going to be our last book on the official TBR for this month. Will be Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. Cool. Okay, this has been so much fun. I have my beautiful little stack right here and also Nocticadia on my Kindle. So these will be the 6 books that I will be prioritizing for the month of November. Please let me know in the comments what you're reading this upcoming month, and stick around if you would like. I am planning on doing some reading vlogs that will hopefully include these books, but also probably some of the other books that I have mentioned in today's video, because I have a lot that I am excited to get to, and I've been in such a good reading mood. So Let me know what you're reading, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.